Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tea with Publicity. Today's episode is sponsored by Dat Chat, which I'm so excited about. That is DAT Chat. It is a texting app that I've been using to communicate with you guys. I think we have like 300 people right now in the thread, so make sure to join it. Everything's always linked in my bio. I have like this big link tree with everything linked there. And what's so good about it is it's a safe space to talk because you can't screenshot what people say, and you could put like a time for things to expire. So if you want to put a message that expires in like one day, you could do that. Or if you want it to expire in 50 days, you could do that, whatever it is. And you could just download the app and make sure to join my show's page. It's called Spill the Tea with Publicity, or you could just type in publicity and it should come up. And we could just talk about things that we love about the episodes, things that, you know, if you guys want to meet each other, if you guys want to hang out, if you want to open up, if you want to, I saw people talking about hair care products and what your favorite dry shampoo is. It's just a great way to meet other tea tribers and really connect. So don't forget to download the app and let's get talking. Also, if you do want to go online, you could go to datchat.com/barstool to get more info, or just download the app. That's the easiest way for me. Okay, guys, let's get into the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tea with Publicity. I am here with my coworker, Jordyn Woodruff. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Jordyn's just joining me for the episode today because why the hell not? Let me break down what we're going to get into. She's like, are you kidding me? Basically, I've been sick for the past freaking 5 days, so I don't have that much to update you guys on, but what I will do is update you on my life. Then we'll get into my interview with Keenan from The Bachelor, Matt James season. Then I do your Ask Alyssa questions with Kit on the pod, so that's covered. But Jordyn is joining me for the intro, and then we're going to do the Spill the Tea segment together because Jordyn's like a celebrity news reporter here at Barstool.
And so are you.
And so am I. And I was like, why would we not spill the tea together?
Hell yeah. Also, wait, can I swear?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah. Let your freak flag fly.
Can I just say one quick thing about you?
What?
My favorite thing about Alyssa, and it just clicked in my head, is you're probably one of the most put together people I know, but sometimes, but you're also the most laid back, casual person. What comes out of your mouth doesn't always fit, your persona, and I die.
This is my, life crisis. I literally was crying about this on the podcast last week. I was like, people think I'm one way, but I'm another way. People think I'm not who I am.
I can see why.
I'm out of control.
You are. Literally, I'm like, she's so put together. What she says, I'm like, wait, what?
I don't know what it is. I think it's just my Capricorn energy. I'm so inside of myself, but my internal self is a wild child.
Yes. Oh, I completely agree. Also, just knowing, following you on social media before I came here, I'm totally different thoughts coming through my head.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
To me, you'd be like a Gemini.
I just think I'm too much of a publicist.
Yes. And I feel like your inner freak wants to
yeah, it's
come
bitch,
through.
let me out. Because you know what it is? I really just want to get on here and rip everyone a new one.
Yes.
But instead I'm like, what is the politically correct response?
And I'm like, let's get into
No,
the
but
tea.
I have to say I'm a little more ready to just tear people to shreds these days.
I love that. I also love aggressive Alyssa.
Well, ever since my Twitter rant,
you opened up Pandora's box.
Yeah, so guys, I commented on this a little bit, and again, I'm not going to get super into it, but we had an incident at work where my boss was in the news, and I was like, I'm not going to comment on it, and then all of a sudden I went on a Twitter tirade, and it felt so good to just get shit off my chest that now I'm like, why am I holding back? You need to stand up for yourself and speak up.
Yes, and once you start, you can't stop.
But that's my other issue. I'm very impulsive. I couldn't stop tweeting then that day. I was like, I gotta get off Twitter. Now I'm power hungry.
Yep.
Oh my God. So anyway, okay, let me tell you guys what I've been up to. And I have some updates for you guys. So last week, the tickets for my live show went on sale at 3 p.m. on Thursday. Was it? Or Wednesday. I don't know. My last 5 days have been one big blackout.
Right there.
I literally blacked out for 5 days.
No, I think it was Friday.
Oh, Friday?
That wasn't even one of your options.
I'm like, it was last month. I I literally am not okay. So my tickets went for sale. All I know is that the Tea Tribe is the best fucking tribe on the internet because we crashed the City Winery website because all of you were trying to get them at the same time, which is
That's
so
amazing.
incredible that literally the website crashed. And it was like, we're experiencing unusual like traffic at this time. So the thing is, guys, instead of selling out in 6 minutes like I thought, no one actually was able to get tickets because the website crashed. So if you tried to get a ticket and you think it's sold out, there's still a few tickets available that we released now because we saw the demand. So if you guys want to come to the live show, there are some tickets for sale. Not many, so grab them while you can because the website is now working. It was great because I was like, oh my God, all these people want to come. But then I was like, oh my God, no one got tickets.
Yeah, I'm so excited
It was
for you.
like a high and a low.
Yes.
So if you guys want to come, it's in New York City on December 8th. It's a live show. I'm having guests come on stage from TikTok. I'm trying to get a reality star. There's going to be tons of TikTok friends in the audience, people that I've had on the podcast. So you guys are going to be so freaking thrilled. I also have someone from Love Island US coming. Like it's good. It's really good. All my coworker females will be there. Jordyn's going to come to the after party.
Yes. I'm so excited.
I want you guys to come. So everything is actually, you know what? I think I need to put it in my bio. I'll put it in the link tree in my bio, the ticket link, and then I'll also just be posting on my story. So if you guys have any questions, buy your tickets. They're cheap. They're $35. I think
So
that's
cheap.
affordable.
Extremely affordable.
Yeah, I could have made them more. And I'm like, no, I want people to be able to come, and I want them to be excited to come.
Also, it's like at a legit venue, and you're gonna
it's
have
nice.
sick guests.
Well, also, it's at a winery place, so you could order dinner and drinks there.
Oh,
so like
amazing.
by the time I get on stage, I need the Tea Tribe to be drunk. Like I
Yes.
want them rowdy. My 93-year-old grandma insists on coming.
Oh, is she
Stop.
coming?
I know. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with my
Is
grandma.
she gonna come?
Yeah. So I go,
amazing.
my mom's like, Grandma wants you to get her a ticket. And I'm like, look, Mom, like it's going to be a little inappropriate. Like there's probably going to be sex talk. I'm going to be cursing. And she writes back, she goes, Grandma said she's seen it all. She's 93. Let her come.
Wait, is your mom coming too?
Yeah.
Is your sister?
My mom, my dad, my grandma, my aunt, my sister's traveling, which
Okay.
sucks.
Wait, your
She's
dad's
like, you
coming?
My dad's coming. I know. So I'm like, you have to come. Like, I know it's a little inappropriate, but like, I'm never going to push the boundaries that far.
Yeah.
That's going to make them like,
I'm so pissed I can't go to the actual show. Like,
I know.
if I wasn't going to something else with my roommate, I would.
Yeah, she had already, Jordyn had already bought tickets for something else. But it's going to be really fun. Like, I'm
Yeah.
really excited. And yeah, so I just wanted to tell you guys that their tickets are still for sale. So if you couldn't get one or if you were just like waiting, a lot of people are coming alone and they're in the Dat Chat group. I have like this new app that's sponsoring the show that is like
yeah.
really cool to go away for people to communicate. So people are in there and they're in my Facebook group and making plans. And what I would actually recommend is just going to the venue early because doors open at 6 and I don't come on stage until like 7:30. So if you're going alone, I would just get there at 6 and meet people and get a table and order a round of drinks and
Yeah.
like what's better than like getting to know people over drinks and food.
Right.
So
And I feel like your audience is so kind that they would welcome anyone. And if
they're
saw
also
them.
excited to hang
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so that is about my show. I need to update everyone on Couchgate.
Your blow up couch.
My apartment, since I've started this podcast, has become a topic of conversation every turn. Like first, it was my mirror that were you there for Mirrorgate? Do you know what happened?
No, I don't think I was hired yet.
I wanted a mirror for my room. I saw one on sale on Facebook Marketplace. You know that big ass anthropology mirror that everyone's obsessed
yes,
with?
I wanted to buy that.
I was like, it was on sale. It was $800 on, and it's like a $1,600 mirror on
Wait, what?
Facebook Marketplace. So I posted it to my stories and I was like, guys, do you like this mirror? Should I get it? Because I posted it was for sale for such a good price, all the Tea Tribe started DMing the girl offering more money and they started outbidding me for the mirror. So like I was planning on buying it. I hired a pickup guy. Like I was in, and the girl messaged me back and she was like, hey, sorry, like I'm getting a lot of inquiries. So I'm going to have to sell it to someone else for more money.
You're like, from me?
So then I posted, guys, like you outbid me. Like I can't get the mirror. So then one of my followers messaged her and was like, do you know who Alyssa is? She wanted the mirror. So then the girl messaged me back and she's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, oh my God, like it's fine. Don't worry. I already ordered a different one from CB2. So then I ordered a CB2 mirror.
Those are good mirrors too.
Guess what? after a month. Everyone's so excited. Like, she got a new mirror. I get an email. It doesn't fit in the freight elevator. They can't bring it up to your apartment.
What?
So then they send the mirror back. I get a refund.
You couldn't take it up the stairs?
It was 5 feet, 6 feet. Like, it was like a huge mirror. Couldn't get it.
Oh my God.
So then I ordered a neon sign that said spill the tea.
I love that sign.
And then I got the sign in replace of the mirror, and then I fucking hated the sign.
Those are intense signs.
I like the sign not for my bedroom.
Yes.
Like, I'd like it for a studio.
And when they're turned off, I don't like the vibe of it turned off.
Wait, guys, I think the sign is going to make its way to the live show. I think it's going to be my backdrop.
You should, like, bring it for the office.
I know.
That'd be a
It'd
sick
be cute
backdrop.
for what we're doing.
Yeah. Like that.
So I know I want to bring it to the office. I think I just need to get the green light before I like hang it in a conference room.
You just like take the big stool down. Put the
yeah,
tea
like
up there.
before I just like mat it to a wall. But so anyway, so then I got the neon sign. Then I hated the neon sign. Then I got the shoe shelves. Now I'm finally happy. So now the second saga is my furniture, guys, in my apartment was a furniture partnership. So basically this furniture company they lent me furniture for a year. Our partnership was 1 year.
Oh, it wasn't permanently given to
you?
you?
No, so my couch, my table, everything was given to me.
That's a thing? It's temporary?
Yes, which was amazing because I didn't have to spend money on furniture. And I really liked the stuff. My apartment looked beautiful. But when it came time for the partnership to end, it was either buy out the furniture from them at a discounted rate or give it back. So I bought out my bed, like my mattress, my nightstands, but I was like, I'm going to get the couch of my dreams. Like, I'm not going to buy a couch from these people if it's not the couch I love.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to buy my own couch. I'm going to get a vintage, like, coffee table. So I bought my coffee table, gorgeous, came in from a vintage place in Brooklyn, bought my couch in August. Knowing how delayed furniture was, it said, buy it in August, will come in November. My furniture lease was up in November. So I'm like, oh my God, that's perfect. Order my couch in August for a November 5th to 15th delivery window. I get an email on the 20th. Hey, here's your new shipping date. January 25th to February 5th.
Shut up.
So now my couch.
That's like 6 months from August.
That's 6 months from August. So now my couch isn't coming until probably February, if not gets pushed back later than that. And I'm like, I don't have a couch. I can't just lay in my bed every day. Like,
no.
That is depressing.
And I'm assuming you host every once in a while, or you have friends over.
So I have no couch, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I remembered seeing something on like TikTok maybe, or like Instagram, about someone buying an inflatable couch that looked like an air mattress, but it was a couch. So I'm like, let me just look into this. So I ordered my inflatable couch. It's coming today. And now I'm secretly so excited for it.
Wait, I was so curious of why. Because I was like, Alyssa's not going to have a permanent blow-up couch. That's not your vibe.
Yeah, you're like,
I was
what?
so confused. I'm like, that's not something Alyssa would do.
Well, everyone was DMing me, my followers, being like, I got that when I was in college, like temporarily. And me and my roommates wound up loving it so much we never got rid of it.
I believe it.
People were messaging me being like, I got that as a joke. And like, I'm obsessed with it. So I'm cracking up because it's a couch, but it folds out into a bed.
Wait, you're serious?
So what amazing. I'm going to do, I'm having my friends over and I'm going to put pillows and twinkle lights and like make it like a drive-in like movie theater.
I love that.
I know. So like I'm making the best out of it.
And the vibe if we stream anything from
okay,
too.
So we'll just tease it here.
Yeah.
Guys, so Jordyn and I both love pop culture so much. And I mean, no one gave us the green light to do this, but we're just going to do it ourselves. We decided we're just going to start doing like little weekly entertainment news recaps on the Chicks pages. So if you start seeing us collaborate, the first thing that we're doing, actually, let's save this for the Spill the Tea segment.
Okay.
Because I do want to get into it, but we'll talk about that when we spill the tea. Okay.
Also, I just got a rectangle phone case. You inspired me.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Amazon?
No, I got it. It's like a lime green one. I forgot the brand.
Oh, yeah.
But I love the look of the square one.
So I have this like rectangle phone case, and there is a brand that makes them, like ID Co's or something, and I just got this one from Amazon. But like those like international sellers keep tagging me in TikToks being like, Publicity uses our case.
God.
And I'm like, this isn't your case. Like, it's from Amazon. But anyway, one last thing I wanted to tell you guys, and then we'll move on to the interview with Kit. I was sick. So what day did you guys know I landed from LA and then I started feeling sick Tuesday or Wednesday, I want to say. And then by Thursday, I was like, uh-oh, like I really don't feel good. And then Friday, I was like the sickest. And so I got tested for COVID. I got a rapid test and a PCR, and they tested me for the flu.
Oh,
and I came back.
You can get tested for the flu?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
And I came back negative for everything. But the doctor was like, and also I'm fully vaccinated. So I wasn't like super concerned, but I was confused because I'm like, I feels like a cold. Like I'm 90% sure it's a cold, but I woke up with a fever one night. So I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So then she was like, come back in a few days to get retested because sometimes it's too soon to show. So then I got retested and it was negative again. So like, I think I just have a cold, but apparently everyone has a cold and a cough.
Everyone. I was supposed to get dinner with a friend on Friday and she was like, I'm so sick, I can't even get out of bed. And you were also sick. And then our other coworker was sick. And then someone else I knew was sick. I was like, something's going around, but it wasn't COVID.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because, now I feel okay. I would say I'm like 85% better.
Yeah, you look a lot, like, you sound and you look a lot better.
I was like, it was only one day where I was like really sick. Okay, guys, let's get into the interview with Kit and then join Jordyn and I for the Spill the Tea segment at the end of the episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tea with Publicity. I am sitting here today in New York City in studio with Kit Keenan. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
So excited. We've been chatting a little bit off air, and I feel like just working in the same industry, we have so much ground we could cover.
Oh my God. We have like a lot of mutual friends. I see you everywhere. Yeah.
It's so crazy. Okay, so what I want to talk about with you today, because I think it's really interesting. Obviously, people know you from The Bachelor. But before that, you were doing the whole influencer thing. You have a mom that works in fashion who's very notable. There's so much more to you than like the reality star. Mm-hmm. So I want to dig into who you are outside of The Bachelor because we saw what we saw, you know? Yeah. What were you doing before? Okay. And then I want to talk about business a little bit because I'm just curious to pick your brain as someone who's younger than me.
Yes. So I grew up in New York City, and my mom has a clothing brand called Cynthia Rowley. So I grew up in the fashion industry. I think that like growing up, I was always so against fashion because it was my mom's thing, and I was just like, I want to do my own thing. I don't want to like live in her shadow. And as I've gotten older, like I've come to appreciate fashion so much more. And I love going to shows, and I love styling, and I help my mom style. But I don't think I want to work in fashion. Interesting. So before the show, I really was like in the wellness space for influencer stuff.
Oh yeah, you're really big into cooking.
Yes, yes, which is like the love of my life. Like seriously, I found cooking and like being in the kitchen to be my sort of meditation space. And I think growing up, like my mom was always so busy, and so the time that we had together was like really important, and one of those times was being in the kitchen together, cooking together, and that was like our bonding thing. So I think that that's where my like love for the kitchen really came from, and I've just kind of like fell in love with it more and want to share it more. And I think that the way that I cook is so amateur. Like people are always like, well, what do you think?
Share the recipe. And you're like, I'm just throwing stuff in.
Well,
I'm like,
my recipes are so funny because they're not like formatted in a normal way that recipes are formatted normally. But it's like,
really quick, sorry if you guys hear something in the background. I think it's the heat. So we're just going to keep talking over it. But it's like, I think because it's like cold in New York and it's kicking in, it's like old rickety
oh my God
pipes that haven't been used in months.
It's like New York weather is like the most indecisive ever. It's just like today I'm like in my huge puffer coat.
I was like, I don't want people to think I'm like banging behind her while she's talking.
Like banging pots and pans.
Yeah, I'm like we're talking about cooking and I'm like hitting something with a spatula. No, but sorry to interrupt your thought, but I had to give a little alert to everyone in case they hear something. Yeah. But cooking, recipes. So do you write your recipes down for your followers?
Yes.
But if you were just cooking for yourself in the kitchen, would you write anything down?
I never measure anything.
Same.
I never write anything down. And that's why I'm like, I want people to fall in love with cooking from my videos and like what I share in the way that I am, which is not like, you don't have to go to a culinary school or, you know, like follow a recipe exactly. And that's why I say don't really bake, because it's like so precise. But for cooking, I'm just like, if you get into it and the more you do it, it just comes naturally and you try things. And that's how the best recipes I've made come out, is like just throwing things together.
You posted like Brussels sprouts this morning, and I was like,
God, I'm like addicted. I'm
my
so
God.
good. I'm like, they're amazing. Amazing.
Okay, I feel the same way about cooking. I find it to be very therapeutic.
100%.
Like, it's a really relaxing for me. And people, you know, a lot of people are like, why are you going to spend all this time on a meal if it's going to just take you 10 minutes to eat it? It's not even about that for me. It's like the actual preparation. I find I put on a podcast and I just like unwind.
It's the best.
It's, you're not on your phone. You're not doing anything. Like, I just find it to be really therapeutic.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you grew up in fashion and you decided, although you like it, obviously, you post outfits, you attend shows, like you said, it's interesting that you were like, it's not going to be my thing.
Yeah, I think like, I don't know. I just graduated from NYU, which is another part of my story pre-show and after show, was that I was at school in college.
Which is, I feel like, rare for the show.
I mean, I'm like the youngest person on my season. I think one of the youngest people ever to be on the show. So I was like really deciding whether or not like I wanted to take a semester off to do it. But I was in Zoom school at the time. So I was like,
whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to school for fashion business at NYU. I went to Gallatin, which is NYU School of Individualized Study, and I was able to create my own major. But I think that going to school for fashion and being raised in the industry made me think about like the negative aspects of the industry as well, and just kind of like the dark underbelly of fashion a little bit more. So I'm like, I still have so much love for it because I see my mom's passion for fashion. And I think that like the way clothes make people feel is so beautiful and so powerful, but I also understand more like the sustainability aspects and the problems with inclusivity and stuff like that, that it makes me kind of want to turn away a little bit in some ways. So my love will always be there for fashion. I just don't think it's going to be like my long-term career.
Yeah. No, I get that. I worked my first like passion in life. Well, I wanted to be like on TV somehow as a kid. I'm like, I'm going to be like a singer or a dancer. I could do neither of those things. Like I have no talent in those departments. So I'm like, I'm going to do celebrity styling. Like that's going to be my claim to fame. So I interned at showrooms and at Elle Magazine. And like I was in that fashion world. And like very quickly once I was in it, I was like, I thought I loved this and I still do, but people love it more than me is what I noticed. Like people will like eat, sleep, breathe this for no money, and like I just don't feel that passionate. I would do that for another job. Like as a publicist, I definitely took a big financial hit, like not making a lot of money doing what I love, but I loved PR. So I was willing to do it. But with fashion, something just didn't align with me either, where I was like, I don't think I love it as much as the person beside me.
And there are people like that. I mean, that's the goal in life, is to find something that like you could eat, sleep, and breathe this thing in your life, you know? And I think we're both saying like we have an appreciation for it, but at the end of the day, like there's other things I'm more passionate about, you know?
What do you see the future of like cooking looking like for you? Because I'm such a natural born brainstormer, and the second like I'm sitting here and I'm like, host cooking events and come out with a cookbook and do this and do that. Like my brain just starts like churning. And also because I like to cook, I always say, I'm like, I think I would have fun in culinary school because I enjoy it. Like I like being hands-on. And I'm like, if I went to college for culinary school, I would have freaking loved it. I'm so much more of a like hands-on learner than I am like a book learner.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious like where
Same.
you see it taking you.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about this a lot because I feel like I'm kind of just getting my footing and like establishing my brand as somebody who's both in the fashion space but like mainly in food and beverage. And I would love to create a product like in this space eventually. But right now I'm like really, what I want to do is like build a community that's really dedicated to my cooking.
Yeah.
I always say I'm like the modern day Martha Stewart stuck in Blair Waldorf's plotline because I'm like born and raised in fashion, but I also have like the cooking side. And I think there's definitely people that there's like, I mean, go on TikTok and there's like endless chefs and like people that are super into this world, but I think it's very unique to have like both perspectives on like social media, fashion, styling, and then also food, because I think it informs like the way that I appreciate my cooking. And I think that just being from New York, like most people here don't cook ever. Like, because
so
people are just going out, like
ordering
it's
seamless.
that is the culture here. And so like to have this appreciation for it in this city is like very rare.
Wait, you know what you should do that me and my friend did, and you could do it with your followers? We did a no food delivery October where we deleted all of our, like we deleted like Seamless, Postmates. And it could be fun for you to challenge your followers to do it for a month and then like share recipes for people to cook.
I love that idea. I think that's genius. And also because in the past, I have spent a lot of money.
I was just going to say, you
food
save
delivery.
So much money. You save, I'll do it with you.
Oh my God.
I'll post it to my followers again.
I'm so down.
It's like we could eat out and you could go pick up food. But the whole thing was like to not get it delivered. So it's like, say you want sushi. Like, obviously, I'm not going to be sitting in my apartment like searing raw tuna or like cooking raw tuna all the time. But I'm like, so if I want sushi, I can go, but I have to go get off my ass and go pick it up. But you end up not even picking it up because then you think like, I'll just cook something I have in the house.
Yeah.
You end up saving so much money. You end up cooking more. And we both were like, we didn't even miss it that much.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, in terms of hosting events in this world and stuff, it's like I still have imposter syndrome because I've always, like, shared my recipes, but I think that, like, within the past year, I've really, like, committed to it. And, like, when people a lot of people come up to me and say, hi, I know you from The Bachelor.
Yeah.
But there's also a big portion of you guys that say hi because you like my recipes. And when people say that to me, it's just like the biggest accomplishment ever, because to think of somebody like following my account, not just to like see me, but to also
and your
see
dating
like,
life. And,
all of that, because I think that's like, and I've talked to actually a lot of my friends like after the show, or just people that are on social media in general. And I think that's like a big thing that a lot of people deal with, where especially like after being on reality TV is like, what do I do now on my social media? And I think a lot of it is just like sharing pictures of themselves with friends, like other people in this world. And once you find your thing that like people can attach to and people come to your social media for, it's so much easier to scale.
Yeah.
Because it's just like people eventually, there's going to be somebody prettier than me. There's going to be somebody with better outfits. Like there's going to be, you know, somebody that goes to cooler events than me. But like for
what
me,
makes you you?
What makes me me is like the balance of the style and like lifestyle stuff, and also my cooking.
I could also see you doing like a Goop or Poosh style like website one day.
Yes, I would love that.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting conversation also because how old are you now? You're young.
22.
22. Okay. So being 22 and being like, I have a lot of followers that are younger. I'm 30. So a lot of followers are younger than me. And being like a woman in business at a young age, like going the non-traditional route after college, like I feel like that's way more common now. A lot of people work for themselves. They become entrepreneurs. Was there a sense of like, were you nervous to take that leap into just being like, I'm going to pave my own path versus I'm going to go get like a 9-to-5 job?
Yes, 100%. Because I am a nerd and I literally love structure so much. Like throughout school, I was always like top of my class, honors, because I thrived in that environment where it was just like deadlines and I knew what to expect. And I have a very hard time like with not having a structure and not having like a routine. And so I've learned to create like other routines in my life that I know will always be there, but like stability is super important to me. So there were times that I was like, oh my gosh, I want to just like get a corporate job.
What are your tips for being stable? Like, what are your tips for adding stability to your life? And I'm also asking selfishly for myself because I run into this issue still. And I worked for myself for like 3 years, and now I do have a structured job, but I still basically like operate as an entrepreneur. So like, what are your tips for keeping your day kind of like organized or in line?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's not like I have some crazy patented system for this, but it's like having a constant morning routine. Like, I know I move my body every morning in one way or another, and I like.
So is that like a run or yoga? Like how do you move your body?
Like sometimes I'll just go for a hour-long walk on the West Side Highway, or like other times I will go to a class or do something at home. But I know that like usually 30 minutes to an hour right when I wake up, that's me time. Like I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm just going to be like focusing. It's like a self-care sort of thing in the morning.
Every person that gives these tips always starts their day without looking at their phone, and it's like those one things.
Oh no, I look at my phone before I do that. But like I wake up and probably look at my phone. Okay, because
I'm like, how do I not look at my phone? I can't control it.
No, it's like I get so anxious watching, especially I'm like, my For You page is filled with those like morning routine TikToks that are just like green juice, lemon, and like make my bed, and then there's my alarm clock, and I'm just like,
way?
I don't do that. Like I try to have structure, and I like have a very intense Google Calendar with like everything I need to do, but like I'm not, so it doesn't have rigid. To be like it also doesn't have to be like aesthetic, if that makes sense. Like it's not gonna be like well lit and like I'm always using like my most like fancy products
like your
that are
salt
super trendy,
light is on.
And it's just like you can't, it's not realistic. Like, I like wake up with like my hair messed up and like my eye mask like falling off, and then like eventually I get started with my day.
Okay, I'm the same way. I joke that I accidentally am like the most chaotic person, but not purposefully. Like I just go through life and I just happen to be kind of chaotic. So I joke, actually I started this new series on TikTok. I have to get better at it, but called My Chaotic Kitchen, which you'll think is funny.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
It's like the opposite of Emily Mariko. Like, like she cooks and everything's perfect. Mine's like I crack an egg, the shell's in the bowl.
Oh my God, dude, I actually, I look at her kitchen all the time and I'm like, this is my ideal kitchen. Like, this is so beautiful. But that's like,
but I'm not that person.
Make such a big point about that, like with my cooking videos, because I'm just like, there's no natural light in my kitchen.
None.
And by the way, it's just going to be like me with like my one kind of bad knife that like I don't know how to use, and like my like old spices that have been in like that are disorganized and like in 100%. The cabinet, and like I try my best to make it look cute, you know, but like it's not going to be so unapproachable that you feel like, oh my god, I can't make this, you know.
Yeah, so I always joke, I'm like, I'm basically organized chaos, and I'm laughing because I was editing a vlog. I was just in LA and I was doing like a vlog, like this is my morning, and if you wait till you see what I look like in this footage, like I have black under my eyes, my hair is like out of control, and I'm like, I could just not be one of those girls. Yeah. And I think sometimes I'm perceived that way. Like even my coworkers will be like, wow, you have everything so put together. I'm like, you guys have no freaking idea. Yeah. And people probably look at you and think that because you do have very like Blair Waldorf vibes in your little silk headband. But it's good to know, and I think it's relatable to be like, yes, I do things, but not everything is freaking perfect all the time.
I've also, like, in the past year, really gotten like so much better at balance in my life, because I think previously, like throughout my first few years of college, I was so regimented and like so strict with myself because I do love routine, and like when I get into those spots where I'm like, oh my god, I need to go to Barry's 4 times a week, and like I'm just like, it becomes a spiral almost. And I've gotten so much better. Like, I consider myself an introvert at heart, but like in the past year, I've learned how to enjoy being social and like being around people. And it was a big goal of mine, and like I'm so much better at it, and I actually enjoy going out and meeting new people. And it's like, that's where the balance comes in for me, because I'm like, yes, I will be going to Pilates tomorrow at 10 a.m., but like I'm also going to go to this event tonight. I'm going to like put myself out there. I'm going to meet new people, because you like YOLO.
I have a really hard time with that concept. Like, I want to be that way. Yeah. I'm an extroverted introvert, but so I need to recharge by myself. Yes. So what happens is, like, if I go to an event, even if I only have 2 drinks because I want to go to Pilates the next day, I still feel like emotionally drained as if I went to bed at 3 a.m., even if I'm going to bed at like midnight. Yeah. And I don't know what the answer is to fixing that, because then I wake up the next day and I feel almost like an emotional hangover. Like it's so weird because I get my energy by recharging alone. Yeah. So if I find it really hard to have balance, but I like to. But then those weeks that I'm like going out and waking up, then I crash on the weekend. Yeah. I'm like emotionally drained. So like I'd like to work on that, like how you were saying you did this past year.
I'm interested to know if you think that makes it harder for you to date, because it definitely makes it harder for me to date, because I'm like, I need my time, because I prioritize like my social life and my friendships so much, and that's where I lose like all my social battery, gone. So then I'm like, whoa, to add in another person, which is like a third category that I have to drain my social battery for, that's really stressful to me. And I think that's kind of like why it's so hard for me to date. And when I do date people, it's like very, like, I try to control things in a way where I'm like, okay, I only see you like a few times a week.
I was going to say, I think it's one of those things where it's like, you don't want to be one of those girls that's like, oh, now I have a boyfriend and I'm only seeing him and I'm not seeing my friends. So when you do prioritize friendships like we do, it then makes it hard to fit someone into that equation, because you're just it's just going to happen where you're not going to be around your friends as much if you're like a girl's girl, because you can't be. Now you have a person you need to also see. So it's like there's kind of like a lose-lose. I think as your friends get into relationships, they start to deprioritize you, and in return you'll have more time to fit someone else into your life, because like now I'm at the point where it's weird, because even though I'm 30, like half of my friends, actually all my friends that live in the city, are single still.
Well, welcome to New York. Like, exactly. That's like the class. I don't know anyone. I met these 2 girls at like an influencer dinner the other night, and both of them were like, oh yeah, we do wedding type TikToks. Like our TikTok is all based on like engagement and weddings. And one of them was like, oh, I'm 26. And one of them was like, I'm 24 or something like that. And I was like, wow, I don't know anyone in New York who's married before they're like mid 30s.
No one. It's so weird. And like, point being though, I've been in that place where my friends, like right now, they all happen to be single, but there were times where they all had boyfriends, let's say, and I didn't. And like, then you have all the time in the world because your friends kind of prioritize their boyfriends. Yeah. And you're like, oh, now I need either new social friends or I need to get in a relationship. So I think it ebbs and flows like as your friendships kind of evolve. And then also like there's some friendships that are like social friendships where you just like meet them out and you go to events. And then there's the ones where you like sit on the couch and like drink wine and cry to each other. Yeah. You know? Oh, and so it depends, I feel. But yeah, I feel like because I've been single for so long, when I do introduce a guy into my life, it's going to be an adjustment for sure. Yeah. Because I'm almost like so set in my routine of being alone.
Same. 100%. Yeah. And I like feel like I need that time, but I also thought that I needed like more time to myself prior, and I've realized that like I can do it if I just like make a little bit of time during the day or whatever to be alone. There's ways around it, you know? Yeah. It's just like, yeah.
I have one Bachelor question that I always thought to myself, and answer as you want. Okay. I was thinking, I'm a publicist at heart. So like in my head, I'm like, she probably didn't want to go to hometowns because like your mom is notable and famous, and it's like, why am I going to drag my family on TV if I know I'm not going to marry this guy? Did part of you dip out before hometowns because you were like, nah, I'm not going to bother bringing this home?
Well, the thing is like my parents were very much like, dude, what the heck are you doing? And I was like,
you're really going to get engaged.
But the thing is like, I know a lot of people in New York don't get into serious relationships until their 30s, but a lot of people from New York City actually, like a lot of my friends from high school and stuff, are in very serious relationships. I don't know what that is. I think it's because a lot of us like grew up very quickly here.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I didn't think it was like that outside of the box to be like, oh, I could find my person now.
I applied right after college for The Bachelor. Like at that age, and I felt ready at that time. Like,
I was like, I feel like I've lived like a lot of life already. Yeah. And I would love to be in like a comfortable like long-term relationship right now. So that was kind of my attitude at the time, but I saw like how there were other women that were there that were like, I'm in love with this person. Yeah. And I like, it's kind of like what we were saying before about like the fashion thing, where it's like,
I like it, but
like I really liked him, and I thought like, oh, this could go somewhere, but I didn't feel the same way as like some other people there. So
I totally get that. You're like, I like him and we could keep dating and we could probably eventually have a relationship, but they could keep dating and they could get engaged tomorrow. Like they're moving on a faster track. And they're just so much more. I totally get that. But I was laughing because I think I even said it on my podcast. I'm like, that's the move though, because like I wouldn't want to drag my parents into something unless I knew I was going to get engaged to this person.
Especially parents that are like, dude, like what are you doing?
That's like in my head, I'm like, she just was like, I'm gonna dip before we go home. Like this is a lot. Yeah. Because you were young, although again, I get it. You go on the show, you think, okay, I could end up with this person. I think Matt even made it clear. He was like, I want to date someone. He wasn't even like, I want to get engaged necessarily. Yeah. He was kind of like, yeah, I would like long-term like date someone, like take a few years. But yeah, that was always the one thing I was curious about. But like I said, I applied when I was, what year are you when you graduate college? 22. I applied to be on The Bachelorette The Bachelor at 22. And like at that point in my life, I was like, oh, I got to meet someone. So it's all relative. Like,
and after I was like really sad because I was like, I kind of felt like I had failed, you know? But now I'm thinking like, well, I really thought that I had it all figured out and I felt like I had like so much experience.
Yeah.
But I know that that's not true.
Well, hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah. Like, I know that there is so much more I need to learn before I'm like...
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I was 22, I felt ready. Now, look, I'm 30 and single, and I wouldn't trade those years for anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like, hindsight's... It's just... It's all about the experience. Like, you learn as you go. And now, look, he's, like, with your friends. And they're happy as
so
can be.
happy. So happy for them. But, like, also I think my mom, being an quote-unquote older mom... But she had me when she was 40 and my sister when she was 45. So, and she is so energetic and so, like, I'm like, dude, chillax. Like, please, like, relax a little bit. She has so much energy.
Wow, good
but,
for her.
like, for me, I was always like, I kind of want to have kids earlier because I just, like, I wanted something... Like, I wanted her to have grandchildren earlier.
Yeah,
and like all this stuff.
I get it.
And now I'm just like, you know what? You can't plan that stuff. You can't force it. And, like, I will figure it out.
It's going to happen when it happens.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Yeah, I think I went into life being like, I want to be married by 26. I feel like all girls say this with these ages as like a child. Like, I want to be engaged by 26, married by 27, and like pop out my first kid. And now I'm like, I think back to it. My mom was the opposite. She got married at 21, which is crazy.
So young.
And when I think about like my mom had kids at my age for 9 years. I was 9.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
see,
that's
like,
weird
I'm
to
saying,
think
like,
about. I'm freaking out.
It works for so many people, and so you're thinking like, oh, that could be me.
Wait, I'm freaking out thinking I was. Oh no. You know what? She didn't have kids until. That's not true. She got married at 21, but she didn't have kids until she waited like 5 years. I was thinking. I'm thinking she had me at 21.
Yeah.
Now I'm bugging out, being like, wait, that would
Where's
be
your
like me having a 9-year-old child right now.
Yeah.
I just lost my shit. I was like, holy crap, I would have a kid in elementary school. Yeah, but like it works out differently for everyone. And like her and my dad, although she got married young, she chose to wait to have kids, I think, until she was 27. Because she was like, there's no rush.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it all just works out for everyone. But yeah, that was my one Bachelor question. But I think dating now, do you find it to be really hard given the fact that you do get recognized from the show? And I think a lot more guys watch the show than they let on.
I mean, realistically, I have dated one person since, and he like had no clue what
That's
I
amazing.
was talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's like, I mean, I wouldn't mind if somebody like watched the show or knew who I was from it. I don't think that's like a bad thing. I would rather them not, so that they could have like a fully clean slate. But I think that's really hard these days with anyone, you know?
100% with social media, with everything.
So unless you are like a basic like finance guy who doesn't have an Instagram, which I don't know if I would date you anyway then, like you're probably gonna have some stuff online and like some stalkable information.
It's true.
So if you know some things about me, I know some things about you, we can like break down what those preconceived notions are and get to know each other.
I love when people are just like, oh, hey, so I gave your profile a scroll, and I'm like, good, honestly, because I did the same, and let's just talk about it versus like pretending. Okay, so I do this thing called Ask Alyssa, where people write in advice questions.
Oh my God, love that.
And I was wondering if you could help me answer some.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. We got some long ones today.
I'm excited.
I said, guys, write in juicy questions. Okay. So this person said, this is a long one, been having marital marital problems for about 2 years on and off with my husband. There was so much disrespect and rudeness behind closed doors and in front of people. No effort being put in, and everyone was telling me I deserved better. Always said things would change, and when I would threaten to leave after a couple of weeks, they'd go back to the old way that they were. Finally separated, and things actually changed. Now we're back together and working on things, but I'm always so fearful it's going to go back to the way it was before. And part of me has fallen out of love with him, but the other part of me is still invested. How do I figure out what to do? Can people actually change? The fear of being in my early 30s and not finding someone or having kids too late in life is also weighing on me, and I don't want that to affect my decision. I have thoughts.
Here's the thing. For me, I'm like, I have never been in that situation, so I feel like an imposter trying to give advice to this person. But, like, my initial thought is, like, if you're questioning that, that's probably a bad sign.
Same.
Because must be still some other red flags or some reason that you're thinking, like, it could go back to that.
Also, like, my gut feeling with that is, like, you have one life to live, not to be corny, but, like, do you really want to spend your one life being like, I'm half in love?
Yeah.
Like, what if the greatest love of your life is still out there and, like, this guy's treated you bad? I understand, like, not throwing in the towel on marriage. Like, you get married for a reason, but it sounds like you don't have kids with him.
Yeah.
So you just said your mom had you at what, 40?
40, yeah.
It's never too late. Like, I think the love of your life might be around the corner.
Yeah. And I would say, like, even if you're not half in love, even if you feel like I'm 100% in love with this person, you still don't want to live your life in fear that, like, it could go back to the way it was. And if you feel as though you can never get over that fear, then it's like you can't live like that forever, you know?
Yeah, and I think you should just ask yourself, like, is this the relationship I want to be in? Like, is this the one that I'm going to stand by through and through for years to come? Because you don't want to have the same thoughts in 5 years when you have kids.
Yep.
And then things are messier. What if you have children and you're hormonal and he starts showing his bad habits again?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Bad.
I'm thinking this is your time to get out. I'm sorry. That's really harsh.
Yeah. It's so harsh, but it's like sometimes you need a reality check for somebody to just tell you.
I also think as an outsider, because obviously when you're married, like, I'm sure you're close with his family and vice versa. And I know there's friends
comfort and time and years of experience and all of that.
Like, I know it's so much more than what we're saying, but as two outsiders, I think you kind of have an opportunity right now.
Yes.
To just wipe your hands.
This is your last chance almost. This is your moment, girl. Like, go just give it like a time frame. Like, let's say, like, we're going to take a break for a moment. I'm going to go off and, like, do what I need to do to, like, experience my life a little bit more. Like,
separate.
Like, separate and, like, take a year or whatever, a few months even, to just be like, I need to be on my own. I need to, like, have some space from this person and the comfort that this person brings me and see what life is like when I'm not, like, clouded by what's immediately in front of me. You know? I think that's, like, the number one thing is always, because you're like, oh my God, then I have to see him tonight. And, like, I can't you can't even, like, process.
You can't escape it.
You can't process what you feel because you're, like, so overwhelmed by their presence.
I totally agree. Okay, we're gonna do our second one. This one's even way longer.
Okay,
so let's see.
I'm ready.
Also, I don't know what this is about, so we're in for a treat. Ask Alyssa. Alyssa, I don't know who I am right now. My whole relationship with my boyfriend. My whole relationship with my boyfriend, I've never been the girl who needs a ring. We've been together since high school, on and off during the college years, but we've been super solid since age 23. He's 29 and I'm 28. I've watched all my older sisters get engaged and married. 2 of my cousins are engaged, as well as my best friend. I am genuinely happy for them all and love being a part of their love, especially my best friend, who was previously in the most toxic, emotionally abusive relationship. Now she found an amazing man who is giving her everything she deserves. but recently I've been cringing seeing random girls I went to high school with get engaged, and even my boyfriend's friends. I also love his friends and their girlfriends, but I can't control this jealous and competitive feeling. I really can't. I don't even want to celebrate them. I'm having trouble being happy for them. We've been together over 10 years and people are getting engaged, being together for 2 fucking years. It's making me crazy and this is so not me. It also doesn't help that my boyfriend just hasn't taken initiative. I was the one who made appointments to try on rings last summer. At the appointments, he was very involved, asking questions and making sure he was being educated on diamonds. We know exactly what I want. But for months after that, he's done nothing. He finally found a jeweler in the city he likes, and we have an engagement appointment for like Thanksgiving, basically. I resent having to be so involved. Why do I have to go to another appointment? Why can't he go alone? He assures me that he wants this and that he will order the ring on the spot at this appointment. But at this point, I really feel like I'm going to have to propose to my fucking self. I feel her anger.
Yeah.
And what is really making this so hard is I truly want the occasion to be a surprise. But how is that even possible when I'm going to be there when he orders the ring? Am I going to pick it up too?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Wait. And she said, I feel like my negative emotions towards this are going to just ruin it for me. I want to be surprised, but I want it to happen soon at the same time. But I really want to have no clue. My boyfriend is the type of guy who needs me to pick out my own gifts, and I wish he could just do something on his own. I know he loves me and I am his whole world, and he really goes above and beyond to make me feel special. I've always felt so lucky to be with him, and I see the way his friends treat some of their girlfriends, you know, the ones getting engaged before us, and I feel so lucky with the way he respects me and adores me. Please help me manage my crazy emotions. Sorry for the absurd length of this message. It honestly felt really good to write it out.
Oh my gosh, this is intense.
I get her feeling.
Here's the thing. Dude, your boyfriend is like, he needs a helping hand. He's a little slow.
He's an idiot.
He's an idiot. He's literally just an idiot. And that's probably part of the reason why you fell in love with him. Like, there are parts about that are just like,
endearing.
You're in control. Like, you are in control of this relationship. But I do understand the tradition of it being a surprise that you want. And I feel like there needs to be some more communication here. Because it's almost like there's mixed messages, because you have been involved so far because you have wanted to speed up the process. Mm-hmm. And now he's probably confused, thinking, oh my God, she wants to be part of this because she wants it to be her perfect ring and be her perfect plan that he doesn't want to mess it up.
Yes.
So he's like, let me have her as involved as possible so I don't mess this up for her, because I want it to be the best thing ever. And you need to be like, you know what? I really appreciate you trying to make this perfect for me by involving me in it, but I really want to do this in the traditional way, and I want to be surprised.
Some element of surprise.
Yeah,
maybe you take this last appointment by yourself and keep the rest of the details private.
Yes,
because boom, it's been great, and I want this to happen, and I trust me, guilty.
Yes,
and I trust that it's going to happen soon. So why don't you just surprise me and catch me off guard? Go to this next appointment alone. You know what I want at this point, and I'll just be waiting for the surprise.
Or you know what you could do? You could put him, make one of your best friends or your sisters or anyone like that in your life reach out to him and be like,
I'll come with you to the appointment.
Sarah doesn't want to be involved in the engagement anymore, but I know everything she wants, and you can just talk to me now.
Yeah, I did that for my sister's husband.
Yes.
He texted me the ring, and I would look at it and be like, small prongs and this and that, But okay, I think that's the one thing, and we tackled that. The second thing is the jealousy, which I'm really not a jealous person, I have to say, but I always talk about this concept of there's jealousy and then there's envy, where you could envy someone, but that doesn't mean you don't want them to have it. So what you're explaining to me sounds like envy. You're envious of your friends, but you don't want to take away their happiness. You're happy for them. I think I see this a lot because as my friends start to get married and my sister's friends start to get married and have babies, there's a lot of things with these major life milestones that make women get crazy jealous. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I'm not, like I said, a jealous person, but who's to say if I was in a relationship for 10 years and all my friends were getting engaged before me, I'd probably be freaking livid. Like,
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I don't think it says anything about you as a person. That said, I think it's like a really unattractive quality for your friends to pick up on your unhappiness. So I would just do your best to support them and be a good friend, because I think that's a bad look. But you're justified in feeling that way.
Also, if it makes you feel any better, I'm sure like a lot of people that are rushing into it that don't have the history that you guys have and like the communication skills that you guys have built over 10 years now, like you don't know how healthy their relationship is behind closed doors. Like like focus on the strengths that you guys have and like the years of history and love that you guys have shared, and like in time it will happen, but try to fake it with the friends a little bit. You gotta be a little bit fake, because like it's so, if one of my friends, if I was getting engaged and one of my friends was like, I could feel their like jealousy or bitterness, I would just be like, I wouldn't want them around for anything. It's like, you don't support me, you know?
Yeah, and I've seen it happen. Like, I'm at that age where it's happening, and it's not a good look. Yeah. So reel it in. You're justified. I get it. It would be really hard. Like, I do get it.
Yeah.
But you just got to reel it in. And you know it's, like, she even said, she's like, I'm out of control.
Like, fake it. Fake it a little bit.
I kind of love that she's out of control. Okay, we're going to do one last one that is just quick.
Okay.
Ask Alyssa, I'm struggling with how to relate to my family anymore. I'm 25 and haven't lived within the same state as my family since I was 18. For most people, this wouldn't matter, but my entire family lives within a 15-mile radius, and they very much have that small town mindset. In the past year, it has become more apparent that I'm the black sheep of my family. I am mentally, financially, and physically in the best place in my life. I bought a land and a beautiful house recently. Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, amazing.
And have been on this journey of growth where my values have shifted from the values my parents preached. I feel so comfortable with the life I've built that going to see my family for the holidays and being back in that trapped small town vibe is giving me major anxiety. I love my family more than anything, so I want to control my emotions and have a nice holiday. Any advice on how to keep it cool, not dread every time I go back to my hometown and feel like I belong around them? Girl, I get this. I get family triggers.
Dude. Okay. My whole family lives in New York, but my mom is from a tiny town in Illinois called Barrington. She grew up there. Her parents still live in the house that she grew up in. And every year we go back to see them, and I 100% get you. And I think she probably feels the exact same way that you are. And for me, I'm like, whoa, this is a whole new world for me. So I don't get exactly.
But you probably feel like it's like a little like judged almost. Like, oh, the big city people are coming to
Yes,
town.
100%. 100%. But like, you have to just create boundaries. Like, for my mom, she's like, we're not going more than 3 days at a time. And like, create those boundaries in whatever way you can. Even if you're there for a longer time, it's like, I'm going to go in my room and like watch a Netflix show for like an hour or two now and like have my alone time, or like FaceTime a friend that you can relate to and kind of like get out some of your emotions and like talk shit a little bit if you need to. But like having those boundaries at home, it makes complete sense. But like at the same time, I think not most people, I think a lot of people feel that, especially if they move out of like their hometown where they grew up, a lot of people feel the same way.
I think nothing is more triggering than family.
Yeah.
And it's because they just push your buttons even if they don't mean to. And I think for me, like I almost sometimes go into seeing my family with this like wall up, even though same thing, I'm so close to them. Talk to my mom 10 times a day. I'm best friends with my sister. Yet when we're all in the same room sometimes, I just like have this weird, like, I feel like everyone's like attacking me. And part of it's like you're projecting, like I project what I think they're thinking about me onto them without, like, if they say something, I'll be like, oh, what did you mean by that? And they're like, we meant nothing. Like, why are you, like, you have to kind of go in with your guard down and just realize, like, whether you have different social views or political views, instead of coming from a place of defensiveness and feeling like you need to you need to defend yourself or state your point, because sometimes I feel that way. Like, I need to speak up or I need to say something. You just need to know when to pick and choose your battles. And it's like, if someone in your family saying something you don't agree with, like, just roll your eyes in the corner and in your heart, no, you don't feel that way.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit, and keep it moving. Like, it's not always worth creating an awkward environment.
Yes. And it's also like, I get it because you don't choose your family.
Yeah.
And like, as you get older, you realize like it's not all happy-go-lucky most of the time. And it's just like something that like you might have to lose a little bit of your social battery on. Like, as we were talking about before, like, you might have to drain it out a little bit for the holidays and then, like, go home to your beautiful life and recharge and be like, I'm so happy I have all these things. I'm so happy with, like, how I've grown. And it's like a little bit of a chore sometimes to go home and, like, pretend and be super like enthusiastic about things that you might not care about or might not agree with, but like, that's life, that's family, you know?
I know, sometimes it's so weird how like family's the most comforting thing, but also like emotionally taxing, at least for me, because I'm so close with my family, but sometimes I feel stressed going into holidays or and it's like, why? Like, I think, like I said, I think families get this weird thing where they all feel like you could say things to each other that no one else in the world could say to you. So then you almost have your guard up because you're like, oh, who's going to throw a jab my way this weekend?
And it's also like, it's meant to feel like unconditional love. You're meant to feel this unconditional love to these people that you might not have like chosen to have in your life.
That's so interesting.
And it's like, it's a weird dynamic, you know? But it's like,
so true.
I feel so lucky that I have a family to go home to for the holidays, and that's kind of like,
that's true. Silver lining. Silver lining.
Yeah.
That's a good way. That's a good ender. Yeah. Just be thankful.
Yeah.
With Thanksgiving on the mind.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just be thankful.
But it's tough. Like, I get it. It's like the holidays are such a tough time, and it's meant to be like all merry and like so happy. I get it.
I totally do too.
Yeah.
Well, Kit, thank you so much for coming on. Where
Thank
could
you for
everyone
having
follow
me.
like your cooking adventures and stay up to date?
Yes. Just follow me on Instagram at Kit Keenan, and on TikTok. I'm trying to get better, but you can help me.
Oh, yeah. I'll
Yes.
totally. You can come to my chaotic kitchen.
Oh my God. I would love to.
Thanks, Kit. All right, guys. It is time to spill the tea.
I'm so excited.
All right. I want to tell everyone about okay, first of all, we teased a little bit that we want to start doing pop culture shit together. So one of the first things that we're doing, guys, is we're just going to start like collaborating on pop culture happenings like in real time. So one of the things we're really excited about is the Tommy Fury Jake Paul fight.
So excited.
So this is the thing. Jordyn and I are on different sides.
We're like genuinely so excited.
We're acting like we're fighting. Like, this is like, I'm taking this so personally.
Same.
So I'm Teamy Fury. I'm Teamy Fury. I'm Team Tommy Fury.
And I'm Team Jake Paul.
And we're coming out with merch. So it's going to be, my merch says Team Love Island. And I want to be Molly May when I grow up. Even though she's 10 years younger than me. Like, I still want to be Molly May when I grow up.
And my merch is Tommy Fumbles, because when Tommy loses, he has to legally change his name to Tommy Fumbles. It's in the contract. And then Jake Paul and Julia Rose is Jake Paul's girlfriend, are mom and dad.
Yeah,
or
my parents.
Are my parents.
So
I love that.
Right? I'm so excited.
So this weekend, as I like to be with pop culture and I like to be in the know, I was like, I'm going to do my research. And I watched Are You the One actually years ago. Like, I'm an Are You the One stan. I love MTV. Secret, weird
Same.
side note. So I was like, I'm going to watch Are You the One, because it's on Hulu and I've just been watching it and it's like really enjoyable and easy.
Yeah.
So I watched Julia Rose's season. So I was texting Jordyn and I'm like, okay, like, I actually like Julia Rose. Like, not actually, I have to be honest, I never disliked her.
Yeah.
I just didn't know anything about her.
Yeah.
So watching it, I was like, oh, she's really cool.
And a lot of people
pretty,
have
and,
assumptions of her because of her brand now.
Yeah, and like, I don't even really, like, I actually always think she's just like hot and cool.
Yeah.
But like, I just love Tommy and Molly.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting thing. We don't hate each other's picks. We just like our picks more. Like, we want them to win. So then I start watching Are You the One? And then Jordan's like, fine, I'll watch Love Island.
And now I am so obsessed with Tommy and Molly May. It's actually sickening.
That is my favorite season of Love Island.
It's the best season, guys.
Oh my
It's
God.
season 5 Love Island UK. I will go on the record saying it is the best season of reality television
Hands
So
down.
good.
Hands
Ever.
So
down.
good.
ever.
Ever.
I've never-
Hands down.
I've never seen a more beautiful group of people in my entire life. And like on any reality show.
So there's this guy Joe in the beginning of
Joe Garrett, shout
Joe
out.
Garrett.
Hey Joe.
That
Love
would
you.
so be your
Joe,
type.
If you're listening,
Wait,
I want to date you.
so
Jordan, that
listen.
would so be your type.
Say it over time.
So we are like, Jordan and I are like, oh my God, Joe is in New York. Like we saw he was in New York. So I just DM'd him like an hour ago and I was like, hey Joe, like, do you want to come to the office? And he answered and we're dying. And
we
he's,
were together.
he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm flying out today, but next time I'm in New York. And he liked my message.
I love that.
So we're going to meet Joe and we have to keep our
I'm
cool.
going to date Joe.
Hey Joe.
Hey, baby, what's up?
We're going to post this. Now he's never going to come because he's like, I'm so scared of those two girls. So we are going to live stream the show no matter what it is, even if we have to be in my apartment.
Yeah.
Ideally, we'll do it
With
from
the
the
merch.
office or something. But we're going to be team Tommy, team Jake. And I feel so passionately that I was texting my friends in a group chat and like, I'll read you word for word what
Oh,
I said
God.
because this is how like dramatic I am.
Wait, I genuinely. I don't know because I love both of them. Well, I'm not a
Yeah,
Jake,
Emily, what team are you on?
I'm not a Jake Paul fan, but he's going to win the fight.
No, I don't think
you
so.
heard it here first,
I don't
folks.
think
No,
so,
I'm
and I'll tell
sorry.
you
I'm-
why. Listen,
No,
so Molly
no.
just put out a new YouTube video, and I was watching it, obviously, because I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah,
and
she's
she was like,
amazing.
I'm so upset I haven't seen Tommy in a month because he's in training camp with Tyson. Tyson, his brother's the best boxer in the world,
Yeah,
like the
whatever.
world champion. And Molly's like, he's taking it so seriously. I literally haven't seen him in a month, and he's been just away training with the world champion.
Because I guess their fight is literally in less than a month now. Like, it's coming up.
So Tommy's like really going hard, and I don't think he would want to embarrass. If Tommy loses the fight, he's also embarrassing his brother Tyson.
yes.
So
And
he
his
has a
reputation.
lot to
Isn't his
prove.
brother Tyson. That's the problem.
But he has a lot to prove. I don't think he's going to let us down. Because I heard this thing. Let me just say my piece.
Jordan, guys, we should go to New Jersey and bet
Okay.
money on it.
Well, that's what we're going to do. So one
Okay,
thing
I'm
I
getting
want.
heated. I'm gonna bet money because, by the way, I bet money on Jake Paul's last fight, and I bet on Jake Paul, and everyone was like, Jake Paul's gonna lose because he sucks and he's just a YouTuber, and I was like, you guys are underestimating him, and
Okay,
he
so-
won, and I won money.
So here's my thing. I rooted for Jake Paul in his last two fights. And I also rooted for Logan against, what's his name?
Floyd
Mayweather. Because I like to see an underdog win.
Yeah.
I do. Like, I'm always
So
going to
that's
root.
why you want Tommy to win.
Well, I'm always going to root for the social media star. However, in this case, first of all, I love Molly and Tommy. Am I okay? I can't even make a point. I'm going to call them Molly and Tommy, mommy. I
actually love that.
I love them so much, but also
Set up your contact information.
Jordan's Apple Watch just goes, I'm not sure who that is.
What is going on?
I don't
right
know.
now?
I feel like I'm like
the
not
simulation's
okay.
glitching.
So I feel as though if this is what I wrote in my group chat, dead serious too. I texted my friends. I said, if Jake kicks Tommy's ass, I'm going to be devastated, beside myself, embarrassed for him. I'm rooting for Tommy, but I'm weirdly scared. And then they were like, all we could do is pray. I said he'll need to change his name to Tommy Fumbles. I'll be mortified.
Wait, Alyssa, I have a great idea. Why don't you and I do a bet where, like, if Jake loses, I have to do something. If Tommy loses, you have to do something.
We've said that, but then we started doing
Jordan
our-
fumbles.
No, but, like, do something funny at the office.
Okay, I'm down.
We should think of something. Or, like, have your T-Tribe come up with, like, something funny.
Guys, write in what we should do for each other if my pick wins versus vice
Yeah.
versa. How I feel, though, and I'll just say it really quick because I could be long-winded because I'm very passionate about this. If Tommy loses, I'm going to be devastated
Well, he
because
is
that is
losing.
embarrassing.
It is. That's the thing. It's like, I want Jake Paul to win so badly, but I will say Tommy losing is more embarrassing
because
for
he's a
Tommy.
boxer.
Yeah, and it's like,
But so
if
is Jake
It's also
now.
but it's also
Yeah.
Tommy's American debut.
And also, but if Jake loses, Jake Paul is Jake Paul. Like, he'll bounce back. Like, Tommy, like...
No, Tommy's really popular there.
But I mean, like, if he loses, though, like, this is, like you said, it's his
It's his
debut
career,
in America. His
yeah.
career.
But also how I feel is, like, I heard this thing about the Furies, which I don't know if it's true because I'm not, like, a true hardcore boxing fan, but someone said that the Furies fight to their level. So, for example, if you're fighting someone and they're bad, you kind of fight worse. But if you're fighting someone and they're really, really good, you fight up to that level.
So that's why he's training so hard, because Jake's really, really good.
No, so people are basically saying, like, his last fight, the opponent wasn't that good, so he was kind of like, even though he won.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see him in, like, a real battle, if he steps up or if he
Yeah.
gets dominated.
No, I think this fight will be really good, because I truly think both of them are good boxers. I'm scared.
Also, to see Tommy, like, sweaty with his hair messed up.
And, like, Molly crying after he loses.
No! This is gonna be, like, wild. So anyway, guys, if you can't tell, we're very passionate. I had some people writing in being like, who's Jake Paul? I feel like you have to, like, live under a rock if you don't.
Do you want me to quick explain?
Sure, explain.
Okay, so Jake Paul, Logan Paul, famous YouTube brothers. They started on Vine, then they went to the Team 10. That they were like the first influencer
Vloggers,
house,
kind of, yeah.
First vloggers, David Dobrik level. They started their first content house, and now they're just like the most famous people on YouTube.
And they're very controversial figures.
yeah,
Very.
that's like their brand is controversial,
Yeah.
and like they're one of the few people who can get away with it.
And, like, Logan was the more controversial one, but somehow he has, like, the cleaner image now.
Yeah, he's like good boy. He's a good boy now.
I think he's kind of hot.
Oh, don't even get me started. I'm so obsessed with Logan Paul. And he, like, kind of works at Barstool. So the day he walked in this office, it's game over. I'm going to die. I told Casey that. And she's like, yeah, I'll, like, introduce you next time he comes in. And I was like, so I will, like, fall down in my seat. I will die.
Maybe you could probably get with that.
You totally could.
Logan, if you're listening.
Logan.
They're going to, like, fire me just because I'm too obsessed with the people who come to this office.
It's so funny because we always talk about how, like, I'm not that much of a fangirl.
I'm a hard fangirl. Even when I was talking to Nick, he was like, you just obsess over everyone. And I was like, yeah, I do. I'm obsessed.
You know what's weird? I think because I grew up in the celebrity publicist space, I was taught, like, you couldn't react to celebrities because I was there for work. So, like, I wasn't allowed to fangirl. I've met every single celebrity
you know all my
name,
fans
and
all my favorites.
but I've met all my fans, and I never took a picture with one of them, like, because I just was taught, like, you have to act like you belong here, make them feel comfortable. So I think I'm almost a little desensitized. Like, I've seen in real life Brad Pitt, Bradley Cooper, Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, Adam Levine, like, Nick Jonas. I've seen every single celebrity in person. Justin Bieber.
I would die.
Like,
Jordyn, you should move to LA and then you'll, like, understand.
Right?
I used to be just like you, biggest fangirl. Then I moved to LA, and then I'd be, like, going to the same, like, outings as these people, and then I was like, I just, like, had this, like, realization, like, whoa, you guys are just people.
I know.
I'm just like, I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable by me freaking out. So instead, I just keep it contained.
Also, though, don't you agree that, like, A-list celebrities, you should probably keep your cool, but, like, influencers, like, it's okay to be, like, total fangirl
Wait,
over.
that just reminds me. I was at the New York City Marathon just walking the street, and someone from the Tea Tribe was like, publicity! Right? And she was wasted, and she just open arm hugged me, and I, like, ran into her arms, and we're, like, embracing, and then I was like, wait, do I know you? Like, I couldn't tell if I, like, went to college with her or if she was, like, someone that listens to the podcast because our embrace was so warm.
Yeah.
And then she DMs me after and she's like, no, you don't know me. I'm so sorry for attacking you.
that,
And I was like, no,
though.
that was so, like, cute.
Also, I will say, like, one, I feel like my brand is kind of to be, like, that obsessed fangirl, but two, I will say when I meet people, I am very cool. Like, when I met Bryce Hopper, everyone was like, you were, like, weirdly calm. I was like, yeah,
That's because
like,
he was your fangirl.
Well, that. But I also, like, I can read the room, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
I'm not an idiot.
I agree. No, I totally
I like to
agree.
fangirl behind the scenes.
Like,
then
you
when I
can
meet
definitely
them-
keep your cool, obviously.
Yeah.
But I used to think, you know, growing up, there's that one celebrity that you convince yourself if you meet, they'll fall in love with you.
Yes.
Who's yours?
Oh, it changes on the daily.
But, like, what, growing up, like, that one person that you're
Oh.
like, if they met me, we would fall madly in love.
Oh, God. I think, like, when I was younger.
I have one
Who?
edit, and I don't want to say because this person was my celebrity crush. I was obsessed. It was more of an influencer, like, but he's kind of at the time was more like A to B because he was just so like big. And I'll tell you guys after the podcast, but I had dreams about hooking up
But
with him.
are
I
you
was in love with
scared to
him.
say it because you think you still have a chance?
No, because we did hook up.
Oh.
Dude, that's
Did
like
it
Katie
live-
Holmes and Tom Cruise.
Did it live up to the hype?
Okay, like the hookup did not, but I didn't care because he as a person was everything I wanted him to be.
Wow.
Mine was Josh Hutcherson when I was younger.
Random.
Yeah, see, I didn't like I
From the
couldn't reach
Hunger
that far.
Games?
Bridge to Terabithia. I was obsessed with him.
Wait, that's so okay. So mine
But
has
not
always been
anymore.
Zac Efron,
Oh,
but like as a child, like I was like, when I meet him,
He'll fall
we
in love.
will fall in
Yeah,
love.
yeah.
Did you meet
So
him?
I was too scared to ever vocalize that I loved him because I'm like, when I'm famous one day and they pull up clips of me being like, Zac Efron's my celebrity crush, he's gonna think I'm not cool because he's gonna know I've been in love with him for all these years. But now I just let it fly because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh, yeah.
that
Well,
dream's never gonna happen.
Yeah, well, also like with this person, I did have like pictures on Twitter, and I would tweet him all the time.
Yeah,
Before I met him, I deleted every single tweet. So like
That's what I'm saying.
I
Yeah, it doesn't bother
archived
me. I'm
every
like,
single photo.
know that.
No, because
And
guys
they
like don't
never
want a
found
fangirl.
Yeah, I would say now I'm like genuinely. I think Griffin Johnson is a total babe, and I would.
Okay, that's not a like
That
you can
also
get
feels
that.
like
he
it could
followed me
happen.
on. He followed me on Twitter yesterday. And I was like, but like with Griffin though, like I just think he's fucking hot.
He's too young for me, but I think he's beautiful.
He is sexy.
He's
He is
like my type to T. And then also Logan Paul. Like I'm genuinely like.
that one. I just can't. Like I just can't. I don't know why you guys find him
no,
attractive.
I actually have this like.
I hope you know I'm posting this to
Oh,
TikTok and
that's
tagging
fine.
Griffin.
No, I like legitimately don't care if these people know because like I don't care. Like literally, I just don't care. I don't really care about anything.
Mine
I have
right
no shame.
now. I don't really have a social media crush because they're all young.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing too. They are young.
That's what sucks is like when I was younger and there were social media stars, I was like, okay, one day I'm gonna be old enough for them, and then
And now we are.
and then they fell off, and then now all the stars are like younger. than me.
Younger.
Yeah.
And it's like okay, so I never got to the age where it was like
When like Logan Paul comes in this office, though, he might fall in love with me.
But I
I'm just
think-
gonna say that.
I think if I was
Manifest it.
young, like I think if I was like in my 21,
Yeah.
I think I would be more into like the Jaden and the Chases.
Oh, Jaden Hostler too.
because
Oh,
I'm an emo
yes.
girl at heart.
Yeah, or even Josh. Like he's hot. He's
Yeah,
so-
Josh is hot.
They're just so skinny.
Yeah, but we would be too. Like I would have been
True.
like if you're child.
Yeah.
they look like big men.
When I was 19, I was Josh's size. Like
That's
I
what
was-
I'm
yeah.
saying. Like I'm talking like back then.
Probably Jaden Hostler for me if I was like 19.
Yeah.
he's so fucking
No.
hot. love
I would
him.
be into it because I'm an emo girl.
Or Taylor
I
Holder.
could never
He's so
see you
cute.
being an emo girl.
Oh yeah,
I
this is what I
can.
mean. People don't know.
You're an e girl.
I'm literally an e-girl.
I
No,
see
you're
with little
not,
Huddy.
though.
Yeah, no, totally.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Do you know
Oh
what's
my-
funny though? Because I grew up with like my generation wasn't as into like my generation, our generation is so much more like toxic masculinity,
Mm-hmm.
like can't be feminine at all. And now that I'm older, I'm like I think it's really cool that like Chase paints his nails
I think
and
so,
like dresses
too.
cool. Like now I'm way more into that, but I
Yeah.
was brought up thinking that was weird. I feel.
Yeah.
You were.
Well,
You
it
totally
was.
were.
It kind of was, and now, like, I'll tell my parents, like, it's cool for guys to paint their nails, and they just are like, "You're joking, right?"
Yeah, like they don't get it. And now I'm like, I think if I was young right now, yeah, young enough to date someone like that, I would think it was like, I'm like, he
Oh, yeah.
expresses himself.
There was a TikTok of a girl making fun of guys who painted their nails, and this guy just reamed her, and I was so happy he did.
Good.
Because he was like, you have no right to do that. Like,
yeah, like what the hell?
painting your nail, because she was like, that means, she pretty much was like insinuating, like, if they paint their nails, they're gay, and like, that's not how it is at all.
Also,
That's
like
so
men are allowed
wrong.
to be feminine.
Thank you.
Wait, so now that
yes.
you're watching Love Island UK, you're gonna notice how more feminine they are in the UK in terms of like.
And hot.
I dated a Canadian in college, and like the way him and his friends would interact was nothing like my American friends would do. They don't have that toxic masculinity thing like Americans.
that.
Like him and his like friends would like slap each other's asses and like give each other a kiss.
Yeah.
love
And you'll
that.
notice watching Love Island, they'll kiss on the lips, the boys.
Yes. Oh, Tommy,
And-
yeah, I've seen Tommy
yeah,
kiss a
like,
few of the guys.
But they're the most they're into men, they're into women, but they're so comfortable in themselves that they're not like scared to show their
Yeah.
feminine side. And I think that's so much more attractive.
100%.
Wait, this brings me to one other point that I've been really wanting to rant about.
Ooh, I love
I
a
don't
good
know why,
rant.
but I find it so unattractive on Hinge when guys specify that they're straight.
Oh, any guy
Do you know what
who's-
I'm talking
Any guy who
about?
needs to, it's like, are you sure you are?
Any guy, because there's an option now on Hinge where you could put gay, straight, bisexual,
Wait, really?
fluid, or nothing. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not on Hinge anymore, so I didn't know that.
I every now and then I'll come across a guy's profile, like 1 out of 15 that has the straight thing, and in my head I'm like, why are you like? Why do you feel like you need to specify that? Because to me, it's almost more glaring than if it just said nothing.
Well,
I
my
agree.
question is, if you are straight and you like are on Hinge and you're
looking
finding
for
girls,
women,
like, isn't that kind of obvious?
Yeah, I get if you're not. I get
if you're bisexual and you want people to know you're bisexual.
true.
Like, that could
I
be
guess maybe I'm
different.
wrong, but to me, it just screams toxic masculinity. Like they have to be like, no, I'm straight.
And they're not confident in their own sexuality.
Yes, that's to
Yeah.
me. It shows like a lack of like.
I love when a guy's like, that guy's hot, because it's like they are confident. They know that they're straight and they're okay.
Yeah,
being
I
like,
don't
"That
know
guy's
what
hot."
it is, because if they were bisexual, then I'd be like, yeah, put it on there. But it's more just like, to me, it makes me feel like it's like a toxic
I
masculinity
agree.
thing.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it.
I
but
love a confident man, and that does not scream confidence.
Yeah, no. Yeah, something to me is just like, what are you trying to prove?
Yeah,
Like, it's
Like,
okay. No one was
daddy
doubting you.
issues too,
Yeah, no one was like thinking, like, no one was doubting you. Just be
Yeah.
yourself.
right? I agree.
Okay. We were spilling the tea. We got a little off topic.
Oh,
But
back to the Tommy and Jake fight.
Yes.
Talk about the merch too. Are we allowed to
I
talk
said
about
that.
Did you? Oh, did you tell me? Oh my
Were
god.
you not here?
I got back. Sorry.
Guys, you both need like naps.
I didn't sleep last night.
I also have 5 espresso shots.
Yeah, do you want to tell them about your Americano
So
story?
I heard someone, I think on TikTok, be like, I'm gonna get a grande Americano. And in my head, I was like, wow, like that sounds like a badass bitch. Like, I only am like, can I have like a grande coffee? And I'm like, an Americano. Like, that sounds so fancy, but it just sounds like American coffee. So I've been ordering, I don't even drink coffee. I mainly drink tea. I'm really hyped up now that I'm thinking about it. So I go to Starbucks.
so much.
I go to Starbucks this morning and I'm like, can I do a grande Americano with almond milk? And they're like, sure. So I put on my story. I'm like, I ordered a grande Americano because the person in front of me ordered a grande Americano. I have no idea what it is. Like, why is my coffee American? And like, what did I get? And everyone's like, that's espresso distilled with water.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no,
So
same.
how
So I've been
many
drinking
shots are in
American
there?
quite a bit, it feels like.
Probably like 4.
Regular 3. I think there's 3.
That's like 5
No,
cups of
items in
coffee.
order 2. So 2 shots
But
of
still,
espresso.
2 shots of espresso for someone who doesn't drink coffee regularly, that's a ton.
I'm bouncing off the walls.
No wonder you can't even say Tommy Fury and Molly May in one sentence.
I'm like, like switching.
Fight December 18th, though.
Fight December 18th. Make sure you tune in for both of us. We're going to be spilling the tea more often together. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. It's Thanksgiving. I might do a vlog style episode
should.
with my parents and my grandma.
Yeah, that'd be
Do
so
it.
Isn't that
fun.
cute? Because everyone loved that style episode. And I'm like, maybe I'll just get my little Grammy in there.
Yeah, I also love your vlog, so that'd be perfect.
All right,
And
guys.
I feel like you guys need more of your mom's personality on
Oh,
the
she's
show.
out of
And your
control.
grandma.
Yeah. All right, guys. I love you. Thank you for listening. Jordyn, thank you for joining me.
I love this. This was so fun. Thank you for having me.
Where can everyone follow you?
So Instagram at Jordyn Woodruff, Twitter at Jordyn Woodruff, and then YouTube and TikTok are at Jordyn Would Know.
Amazing. Thanks, guys. See you next week.